Hello, Empower Tribe. Welcome back again to my channel. Thank you so much for visiting. Today, we're going to go into the Book of Awakening, and I'm excited to have you here. If this is your first time, we're doing the Book of Awakening for daily reflections, just something to think about and reflect upon, just going back to basics. And I think it's good for us to do some self-evaluation sometimes, just to see where our life is at. Without further ado, let's go into the Book of Awakening. Today's topic, today's passage is titled When We Squint. And when we squint, we think we see like a tiger. Well, the truth, like the sun spills everywhere, but through our slits, we have all heard the greedy advice that when things get tough, we need to dig in. This often translates to an aggressive, alert stance. We hone our focus and thinking, rating ourselves for anything. Unfortunately, when we steel ourselves for battle, our focus narrows and we can cut out as much of what we need as what we fear. I'm not suggesting that we stumble through life without thought or focus. Rather, I'm offering a deeper sense of what it means to be alert. There is a telling difference between the sharp line of a laser ray and the wash of sunlight over a field. Between the sharpness of a mind in crisis and the wash and warmth of an open heart, when we need it most, it is nearly impossible to see ourselves with compassion from the slit of a narrowed mind all tensed for battle. A few months after the tumor vanished from my head, I bumped into a very bright friend in a restaurant who was tenacious in pursuing what I have done to defeat the tumor. I kept telling her of the enormous surrender that had overcome my life and that I didn't really know how to account for the miracle. She squinted terribly, as if blocking out the glare of the mystery, and insisted that I was evidence of what mind could do over matter. As she squinted, I could feel her heart close. It was very sad. We had little to say to each other since. I have also found myself from time to time unable to stay in the feeling of a moment because my alertness in crisis, like a periscope shooting up, pulls me out of my heart. And the next thing I know, I'm lost in the analysis of problem solving, of calibrating advantages and liabilities. Like my friend, when I squint, insisting solely on my own will to power me in the world, I close myself to the mystery, and I notice I become sad, having little to say to myself. This has taught me that attention to detail can be mistaken for the act of caring. The truth is that being alert often requires us to widen our focus and to see with what the Sufis called the heart's eye. For though surprise and crisis can make us squint like a tiger and show our claws, it is the effort to enlarge and stay open that help us the most. So this is a interesting passage. Just to let you guys know, I have been doing a lot of research on narcissists. And this passage just remind me of some of the facts that I've found out about narcissism. The reason why I was very interested in narcissism is because I grew up in a very narcissistic family. And in order to do my shadow work, a lot of my work is really to dive down into where that narcissism stems from in my family and to kind of dissect how it affected me. And that's why I've been doing my research on narcissism. In my life, in all of our lives, I'm sure we've met a narcissist or two, or sometimes we are narcissists ourselves without realizing that we are. And that's where the shadow work is really important for us to be able to see that part of ourselves, the shadow self that we don't really know about or we don't really like about ourselves. I think knowledge is power. So, in my experience, I have had a lot of, what do you call it, acquaintances in my life that are narcissistic. And through my journey of my mental health crisis and my spiritual awakening, this topic has come up more and more in my life for me to dissect. And I always believe that the universe sends lessons for us to learn. And so that is my lesson. Through my journey and through my mental health crisis, I've been asking myself, why am I such a beacon for the narcissist? Why am I attracting these people in my life? Because I also believe in law of attraction. Like attracts like. And what is it about me that attracts these people in my life? And how can I handle that mentally and physically, and have a little bit more of a strong boundaries, and to not be a beacon anymore, not to attract those things in my life. And the only way is to really set boundaries. A lot of times, what triggers the narcissistic dynamic is that when you are around narcissists, you tend to be more defensive, you're high on guard, and so you are not yourself. And my personal experience is I tend to be very defensive because, and this narcissists are very good at gaslighting. They are very good with their words. They like to dissect what you say, and they like to use your words against you. And I don't do well in that situation, and I'm being very transparent. And my goal is to really have a sure sense, a powerful sure sense of who I am, because that's when you won't be gaslighted by a narcissist. Because what the narcissists do is they play with your mind, and they start, creating this defense in you, that you feel like you are blindsided, and you feel like you're always having to, kind of like the passage said, be on guard, and you lose your creative self. You became a different person while you are interacting with them, and that's not how it should be. And a lot of times when we are in that defense mode, we don't listen as well. We don't take things in as well, because we just want to make our point come across. And when we show up that way, the narcissists loved it. They love to trigger you, and that's how they thrive on that relationship, because they can see that you're on edge because of them. And a powerful way in which that you can overcome those relationship is to stay open, not be defensive, and be very sure of who you are. Because when you are very sure, you will never be swayed by what anybody says about you, because you know that you know who you are, and you don't have to defend yourself or make your point just to prove a point to them, because they really don't care what you have to say about what you believe, because all they have in mind is what they are, what their agenda is. And so in order to protect yourself is to have an open mind, and not to judge them, and and be open to what this whole relationship has to teach you. And I think the passage talked about how, sometimes when we are on guard, or when we are on a defense, we shut down, and we stop being ourselves. And I think we are doing ourselves a disservice by doing that. And I know a lot of this fight or flight response comes very naturally, especially for people who have experienced people who are narcissists in their life. And it seems like that part of you comes up when you are across from a narcissist. And so I think that it's very important for you to essentially be aware of that aspect of yourself, and don't fall into the trap of the narcissist, because all the narcissists want is to get their agenda met. And they are very ruthless, and they are brutal, and they don't care what they do as long as they get what they want to meet their agenda. And so, your role is to not get into that trap. And in order for you to do that, you need to build a strong shield. And the strong shield is not putting in that defense when you're in that situation with them. It is to be strong in who you are, and to be open to listening. Because you know what? When the narcissists see that whatever they do to you has no effect on you, that's where they know that they are not getting anywhere with you. And that's where you are winning the battle of really being free from all that is affecting you on the outside. Well, ladies, I hope this topic serves you as we do, interact with more and more narcissists in our life. Armor yourself. What is that armor that you need? It will be a good time for you to really self-reflect. And what is it about them that triggers you? Do the shadow work. I will have a video about what shadow work means, and I look forward to sharing that with you. Until then, I hope you guys have a fabulous day, and I'll talk to you ladies soon. Bye now.